Welcome back to another video, guys, and today we are resuming our interview series. We're doing another amazing interview. We have Chronicman, one of the leaders of Mavericks OG. Say hello, man.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, guys, you heard him. Chronicman is on the phone here with us. So we have a lot of questions to ask him. It's going to be a two-part interview. So without further ado, let's get started. Are you ready for this?
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right. So first question: how did you find out about The Walking Dead: No Man's Land?
I was watching The Walking Dead one night, and after The Walking Dead, The Talking Dead aired, and I think it was the first commercial break. They had a commercial for the No Man's Land game, and I was like, "Oh, there's a game!" And so I went to the App Store and downloaded it, and started my addiction.
Sweet. So it's been pretty much like what, 2 years now you've been playing? That's nice.
Yeah, I think it was the little research I did after it started. It was about 2 weeks after it hit the App Store that they advertised the game, and it has a very similar feel to the old PC game Fallout, and that was one of the games that I got hooked on in my younger years.
Nice. All right. So moving on. Can you give us a bit of the history about Mavericks OG?
All right. We originally, a lot of us were in another family guild, and we left that guild and started Mavericks for the pretty sole purpose was we had a top 20 dream where we wanted the top 20 players of the family to be in one guild, you know, like-minded people playing together, pushing each other each week to excel, you know, build, be better. And it didn't really start off that way. You know, we just kind of had 20 people that were all good at the game playing together. And slowly but surely we just kept getting people, you know, people saw our leaderboard status after 1 week of being a guild, and they just started flocking to us slowly. And I mean, now we're easily a top 10 global guild every week.
Sweet. All right. Nice. Now let's move on to the next question. What do you think about the upcoming nerfs to the game?
Obviously, you know, I'm gonna miss having the ability to wrestle a level 30 tank or armored instantly. You know, that's a pretty extremely, you know, beneficial thing when you hit those 29.3 or 30, you know, recommended survival difficulties. But I do understand, you know, why NG is nerfing the trait. The players who are willing to pay 25 gold to heal their survivors, you know, after, you know, they do it to continue playing, you know, it's more beneficial to them than it is to somebody who's just playing for free and getting that 1 star and then have to wait 2 hours to continue to play. But it's, you know, it's just like the interrupt and low-level scout adjustments to the game. The veteran players were able to manipulate the mechanics of the game, and NG probably felt that, you know, they didn't want that to be the, you know, quote-unquote meta of the game, just being able to, you know, focus on the veterans to continue to rule the game, so to speak.
So it's about time we change our tactics and get more survivors on the team. All right.
Yeah, with the badges, you know, it's pretty much making it to where, you know, wrestler isn't as important because you're able to do more damage, you're able to withstand more damage. So I'm interested to see how it's going to work.
Oh yeah, there are some great badges, like with the damage reduction one. Imagine you get 3 legendaries, just like, you know, that's going to be pretty sick though.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get a legendary badge yet, but I have 3 epic damage reduction ones that have 18%, I think. So that's pretty high for epic.
Nice. All right. What are you looking forward to the next update? Now this is update 2.8 from the moment we're recording this. So that's the October 2017 update.
The biggest thing that I'm looking forward to would be the shooter weapon trait. Shooters were always one of my favorite classes, just because on their charge shot it didn't cause an aggro, you know, another zombie to appear on the map whenever the spawn ends. So I would always overwatch with 3 shooters to build their charges, and then I was able to, use 3 shooters charges to work my way through the map. Typically, it didn't work in the high difficulties, but middle to end of the week, it was easy to just go with 3 shooters until I discovered the abilities of the assault class.
All right, nice. Shooters are one of my favorite class as well. I'm looking forward to those trades. But yeah, how would you like to see the game move forward?
I really love the addition of the badges and crafting. I think that if they could add a way to mix the badges together so we can have another chance of getting badges, using the low tiered ones, that really aren't useful, because I've bought a few component bundles and I've made a lot of badges, and I haven't gotten lucky to get a legendary one, unfortunately. But the epic ones are extremely useful. The rare ones still have good percentages on them, but some of those uncommon and common ones, if you have a lot of badges, there's really no use for those. I mean, I guess if you just want everyone to have badges, but I typically only use like an A and B team with a few alternate leaders, running the teams. So I have a lot of unused heroes, a lot of unused survivors, and I'm willing to pay the 15 gold to unequip badges to put them on new players, for the distance or whatever. So, and scrapping them really doesn't seem like a viable thing to do for something that you farmed for badge components. The fragments are rare, sometimes to find. I think I've found more badge fragments than I have components in free videos.
All right, your luck is amazing then.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. A question from Dilich. When did you reach your personal best? How many levels did you have at that time? And since that time, have you found it difficult to reach your personal best again?
All right. Kaboom was always been my personal best map. When it first released, I think I was able to get just over 600 stars, and then the second time it came around before Challenge 2.0, I actually hit 802. It was extremely impressive. I had alarms set for every 30 minutes so I could do the 2 repeatable maps that I was able to do, and I was able to get 3 stars on one and 1 star on the other. I was sitting at church, the pastor's reading the sermon, and I'm sitting there moving my characters across the screen trying to get stars.
Oh, God.
And then after Challenge 2.0, I had level 20 survivors, and I was able to hit 1,430 stars. That was the first time I think we had Kaboom on the new challenge tier system.
Nice.
And but unfortunately, I haven't really had the time or the drive to push in these last weeks. But I was able to hit 1,420 on that the newest map that they released. I can't think of the name.
Was it the army base? Yeah.
Yeah, it was army base. I hit 1420 on army base, and if I would have started playing a little bit earlier in the week, I probably could have easily broke my personal best. But I mean, my survivors are 8-star now, and the badges that they have on them, there's really nothing stopping me from getting a new personal best except for time.
Yeah. All right. Next one from Capybara. Which fictional Walking Dead character is most like you?
So I had some struggle thinking about this, because with I see a little bit of myself in each of the main characters of The Walking Dead, but ultimately I would have to go with Rick. I have I think a strong sense of leadership. People flocked to me whenever we decided to leave the Watchtower. It was crazy to see people be so supportive of me when all I really was just a player to them. I never really thought that people would want to follow me or anything. So I picked Rick, and another thing was I'm extremely loyal to the people that I play with, and I'm not afraid to tell you what's going on. Like if there's drama happening, I'll stand up for people who are being belittled or anything like that. So I feel like Rick would be the one that I'm closest to.
Damn, this was like a motivational speech for your guildmates. You know, you have a true leader, guys. All right. Yeah. All right. A question from Pig. Is your name a reference to back pain? All right, man. The how is me? How am I and Chronicman connected anyway? All right.
That's funny.
I'm guessing no.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
All right. Nice. Next question is from Mark 105. What is your favorite class of survivor and why?
It used to be shooters up until I learned how to actually play the game with a little bit more strategy. But assaults are definitely my favorite class for the crowd control. And with Sasha's leader trait, man, she helps me with my assaults so much at the end of the challenge. Like there's weeks where I see people posting strategies. They're using warriors and scouts, and I could probably do that. I don't have the traits that I want for my warrior and my scout. So I just, try to get that lucky charge on my assaults, and then you can pretty much handle, any level of walker with assaults as long as they're not a fatty.
Yeah, I mean, like, I believe lethal and gold widespread and piercing is sweet on the assault weapon.
Oh yeah, and with the badges now, I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
can have assaults doing just as much damage as a shooter practically.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no. My Abraham is just 3 damage badges and then his healer trait on top of that, and it's just sweet, it's amazing.
the damage badge is like it's like a unicorn for me, man. I have 1 damage badge. Everything else is critical damage and damage reduction.
I have
and health.
I have a legendary damage badge with 19% increased damage, which is sweet on Abraham, man.
Man, I'd give you 20,000 gold for that thing.
All right. Maybe we'll have a deal in future. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So, next question. Where are we? All right. Question from Fear of a Bot Planet. From next game. So, what is your plan for the real zombie apocalypse? What would you do? Where would you go? Who would you want with you? And how would you survive? All right. How does he know there's going to be a zombie apocalypse? Now, this is really fishy.
I know, right?
This is really weird,
He
though.
went straight.
Is this guy?
Yeah, he
what
went
is
straight
like?
to the real zombie apocalypse. Like it's already been established that it is.
I think he's coming from another
Um,
planet, and he is just like, I think he's seen the future or something. I don't know. It's all right.
He's an alien and watches TV, so he just thinks that it's real.
Yeah.
I'm not really an arsenal guy, so I'd have to accommodate some type of like arms or whatever, hit up Walmart, grab a shotgun, maybe. I'm in Texas, so there's lots of gun stores, lots of people have weapons. But I live in a real rural part of Texas, so I really wouldn't have like, the large scale drama danger, you know what I mean? Like, my sister lives in Houston, so I couldn't imagine being in a large city like that. The chaos and, people trying to evacuate and get out of the city. I live in there's like a mile or two, and my closest neighbor is like 200 yards. So, it's a pretty open area. I guess fortify my house with like a fence. I don't know. There's like a nursery. There's a plant nursery right out in the corner, so I could, start growing, food. Wink, wink.
Alright, I'm probably gonna be like, what's your plan to the real zombie apocalypse? Terminates, what would you do? Terminates, where would you go? Terminates, who would you want with you? Terminates, how would you survive? Terminates. Alright, that's problem solved.
I definitely think Terminates would be like the Michonne of the real apocalypse. I would hope, at least.
Oh my god, it's gonna be sweet. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe next games they're gonna have like super weapons and stuff. They're gonna equip us with some widespread assaults and rifles, and it's gonna be.
So I thought that that new game that's coming out, the VR one.
Yeah, Our World. Yeah.
I was thinking, how cool would it be if, when you're playing that game, if a survivor of your own from No Man's Land was in the game as well, like. How cool would that be? Like if your shooter was in the AR game with you, you know what I mean? Because like, I don't know how it works yet. But how cool would it be if like if you could like upload one of your survivors to the game too?
That's not a bad idea. Maybe it might be coming in future. We never know. We only know that the heroes are gonna be coming. Obviously, like Rick, Michonne, Daryl. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to that game. It's supposed to come out this year, later this year. Hopefully, it's coming out Maybe in 2 weeks, maybe when the season 8 premieres, who knows? But yeah, I'm super excited for that one.
Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
great if they released it during the Talking Dead
yeah, again.
this season.
All right, so moving on, we have a question from Pick. What's your thoughts behind the rarity of legendary badges?
Oh man, so I've been really trying to get a legendary badge. Like I said, I bought some bundles, and I take things as I get them. It's an RNG game. There's always gonna be, you're always gonna get disappointed. But then I've also seen people mix epic badges and get legendaries. So the chance is there. It's just a matter of it happening. But I don't really look at the rarity as the most important aspect of the badge. I look at what the badge has. And before, there was no percentages added to the characters. It was just whatever your weapons had and then whatever the survivor's, rarity was. Is it legendary? Is it 1 star, 2 star, 3 star pink? So now any addition of a badge is an extremely useful. So still looking for those damage badges though. I would be happy for more than 5% damage.
Yeah. Or maybe like health and damage reduction, that's gonna be sweet,
Yeah. My Abe, he doesn't do as much damage as I want him to do, but he on Overwatch, I think he has at least 70% damage reduction. So the 1 week that I went to 1420, he took a 300 damage shot from a level 29 Walker. I was very impressed with Abe.
Sweet, nice. All right. Now we have a couple of questions from Puchuko. What's the most enjoyable part in the game for you?
I would say at this point it would be helping run Mav's family and being part of a global leaderboard team.
All right. Uh-huh. I thought you were gonna say the distance or the challenges or something like that. All right, fair enough. I mean, you're staying with the more social aspect of the game, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time and money playing the game, and to me now it is more about the friendships that I've made and continuing, the dream that we had about running a leaderboard team. Because when we were in Watchtower, we were a leaderboard team, but it was more of a home guild. You know what I mean? It was like the same 20 people, very small movements. Now with Mavericks OG, anyone in our family who outscores another player has the ability to join OG, and I think that adds another element of competitiveness within our ranks. And I know, I was gonna say I think, but I know for sure that it is bringing people to us weekly. We have a recruit that reaches out to my line ID, or we have, players on the forums who see our ranks and they ask, is there a spot in OG? And we always have to tell people it's not really a set spot. It's a spot that, you have to kind of earn. We take screenshots. We let people, we show, we're not really, we don't hide our scores from anybody. We show this is the top 20 right now. To get into the top 20 next week, you might need a score of maybe 1,300. Give them an idea of what they might need, so that way, if there's the challenge is still going on, they're able to push harder, or let them know what other options we have, because we've re-tiered our leaderboard guilds to have set minimums, and then that way if you don't make it an OG the first week, you might be in knock the second week, and then if you're not in knock, then you'd be in slay, and it just goes down from there.
All right. So next question. What do you dislike about the game? Ooh. Ooh.
Man, it's the grind. I've played the game for 2 years. Countless level cap increases. With the distance, I think the distance is actually one of the more refreshing things about the game. Because it's not really grindy. It's like, these are the set levels, just play them, and then when you're done, you can restart if you want. You know what I mean? It's kind of like optional. Whereas in the challenge, it's not optional to grind. Like, you have to play each tier. You have to get
No, but we have the round passes introduced, and they're also
the round passes definitely help get you through those first 500 to 800
and also
stars extremely fast.
starting from update 2.8, Fear of the Bot Planet say on the forums that the rounds you skipped with the passes are gonna count, so to getting another round pass, so it's gonna be so much more easier to get more passes as well.
Yeah.
So
You won't be losing that one round pass per week if
and you're
if you
having
push real
those
far.
sweet challenge adjustments, so you're gonna be able to get more stars, and it's fine. I think it's gonna be better now after the next update. Let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah. Right. Next question from Puchiko. What do you think should change about the game?
I don't think there's really anything specific that I can focus on. NG has and always done an extremely good job trying to lessen the grind, feel the challenge, with the continued increase in the level cap, it just makes the grind even more for supplies and gear. But I think a lot of people, it escapes them that this is an app game and not a console game or not a computer game. It's an app game. So a lot of times, app games, as soon as the community stops paying for things, the developing company they stop producing updates. So, NG is being fantastic about continuing to update the game. And yeah, people are still buying stuff left and right, but I mean, they really are. There's no obligation to them to update the game. You know what I mean? So with them doing as good of a job, whether people don't like the updates or not, they got to look past whether they like it or not and be like, they're updating the game. It's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but
because
yeah, keep on.
I was gonna say there's games that I've played before that never receive an update and are bad from the start, and the entire time you're playing it, you enjoy the game. There's something about the game that you like, whether it's the mechanics, the gameplay, the people that that are playing it with you, and it's like the game just never gets updated, and then it just you grow to despise it because there's no update, and the things that are wrong with it never get addressed. NG not only addresses issues with the game, I mean with the star glitch. Yes, there was a glitch, but they fixed it the first week that it happened. Then it got exploited. You know what I mean? That they could have not fixed it and just punished the people who used it, but every week new people would be using that glitch. But they fixed the glitch. So I mean, it goes both ways with updates. Because they're doing it is good. That's my. I don't really think that there's anything specific that they should change, rather than as long as they're changing things as they go is really the key.
And also, it's because if they want to change something, they always can. I mean, you agree to their terms of service when you start playing the game, so there is no need to complain about something that they change. If they think they have to change it, then they're gonna change it. I mean, like, you can't do anything about it.
Like they said with the wrestler trait, they don't want one trait being the sole success of a player, and I feel like the wrestler trait was becoming the only reason that people were able to get 1,800 stars, 1,900 stars. I think I saw somebody that had 3,000 stars. I mean, that just blows my mind that somebody was able to get that many stars. I mean, I'm somebody who normally gets 1,400 stars in a week. So I could do it, I guess, if I wanted to continue to retry and get that lucky dodge or get that lucky critical attack. You know what I mean? It's just it's all about role playing.
But also, with the distance, people managing to beat the distance in the first weeks. I mean, that's definitely what I guess NG didn't plan to. I guess they didn't even expect people to beat it maybe this year or something, because with the wrestler, it got really easy, to beat those high-level fighters and freemen. Well, not freemen, but just walkers in general.
Yeah, I think something that they could have done there, maybe, I don't, obviously I'm not a developer, so I don't know how easy it would have been. But I think if the sole reason they changed wrestler was more or less because players were able to manipulate the distance and get through it, without with ease. Because I still every week in our community, in our group chat, I see people posting the completed thing. I personally have never completed it because I don't really see the benefit as much to grind through it. Because typically on Saturdays I don't have as much time, and then on Wednesday I have like a thing where I don't play the game on the days off the challenge. It's my way of balancing the time that I spend on the game during the challenge week. I just refuse to play during Monday and Tuesday. I do guild transfers on Monday with Birju, and the other leaders, and then I just kind of take that's my time off from the game, but yeah.
And also, it's impossible to beat the distance without a gas booster or a 1 minute gas on the weekends, because you have 21 missions. That's 4 gas. That's about what is it, like 48 or even more gas then you have to use. And if you want to get the same rewards again, you have to spend gold and more gas again.
Yeah, you gotta buy.
And you just don't have the time
the
for the gas to refill, because obviously you have to sleep as well, at least 8 hours. I mean, even though it's the weekend, you still have to get some sleep and do some challenges maybe, It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I think they should have. I think they should have implemented maybe a roster cap for the distance. If the reason they fixed the wrestler was because players were able to beat the distance, I think that maybe should have just had a roster cap. So when the distance becomes active and you go into the distance, whatever amount of survivors you have is the amount of survivors you get. Because I know a lot of people were just doing, one calls, whatever survivor they got, they would equip, a low level piece of gear that they were able to wear that had wrestler on it, and they were able to, wrestle one zombie off the map, and then just continue to go through the levels with level 12 and level 13 survivors. I did it a few times just to see how it worked, and I mean, it was beneficial. I just wasn't going to use all my phones each week, in which, I mean, I think I spent 20 phones one time. I have like 1,000, so...
All your phones to get a bunch of hero tokens and some epic badge fragments, I guess. That's pretty much it for those high levels.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're a big fan of Aaron and you want to unlock him as a hero, I mean, yeah, go for it. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen now with the wrestler change. So we're getting the new levels, level 23 survivors. We got the new gear coming up. So yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen. They're not changing the difficulty of the distance, so yeah. Right. Next question, we just answered that about the wrestler trait and the distance. So final question for part 1 by Abely 362. How many stars have you earned in a 24-hour period?
So I'm typically a Sunday night warrior, Monday morning warrior. I like to leave my guildmates wondering how many stars I'm gonna get, and sometimes they message me and they're like, "Hey, are you alive, or are you playing this week?" Like right now, I think I have 152 stars, and I'll probably end up with like 1,100. I just like to make people sweat. But one Wednesday, I decided to go all out, and I think I had 1,204. So
nice.
I woke up at challenge start and grinded all the way up until about, I think, 3 a.m. and I took whatever I got. Like, I didn't retry levels. So if I got 2 stars on a level, I just took it and then moved on. So that way I could get through the cooldowns and everything faster.
All right, nice. And that should wrap part 1 of the interview with Chronicman. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Part 2 is coming very, very soon. But yeah, as always, I'll see you guys all on the next video.